Hi, I'm Tony May. Welcome to our show. First this evening, a surprising statistic. Florida has one of the highest divorce rates in the country. And now a growing number of baby boomers are facing life on their own. Here's our community perspective.
I met the love of my life in college, and we got married, and we had 3 children together. We had a wonderful, I'd say first 20, 21 years.
But 58-year-old journalist and avid collector of gargoyles, Karen Reyes, says that over the years, she and her husband found themselves going in different directions. That and infidelity led her to make the painful decision to end her marriage. According to a recent AARP study, as well as other research, a steadily growing number of people are ending long-term marriages. One of the reasons? Increased longevity.
People start to think that, gee, I have a fair amount of time left in my life. Is this really what I want to be if the marriage was a troubling one?
And in what is seen as a reflection of major social change in America, in 66% of cases, it is the women who are calling it quits.
A couple generations back, the women were sort of at the mercy of their husbands. They were the housewife, they were at home. Now women are in the workforce, and they meet people, they have a bigger network, and they have the power to make a call, and they're making the call.
There's life after divorce. I remember almost to the day when I woke up and it was like the birds were singing and the sky was bright, and I go, what's different? It was like I was over it. I can do anything I want today. And that is a wonderful, wonderful feeling.
So obviously, dealing with divorce can be very tough. Well, I have 2 guests this evening from South Florida, women who have been through it and are here to help others. Welcome, Christina Rowe, Ross Sadaka. Nice to see you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And we were talking before we went on the air, both of you had very different divorce situations that have kind of brought you together, both helping others. Christina, yours was not the smoothest in the world.
No, I went through a very difficult divorce, about 1.5 years in court, and by the time it was finalized, it was very expensive, and a lot of legal fees, and very, very hard.
And Roz, on the other hand, yours was more child-centered. You and your ex are still friends, and that's kind of what led you to write a book about it.
Yes, my book is about telling children about divorce, and I really want people to create harmonious, cooperative, collaborative divorces in every possible way, and I know it's possible to do that.
And somebody like Christina might think you're crazy. That can't happen. Look at what I went through.
Right.
But you're saying it can if what?
If parents become adults and don't get involved in the resentments, the anger, the hostilities that they feel, no matter how you feel about your ex, you have to remember that you are a parent, and that other parent is going to be parenting with you for the rest of that child's life, and you do damage if you don't think first before you act. It's the decisions you make that will affect your children, not only in the next few years, but the next few decades.
And Christina, what you went through, is that kind of why you said, I don't want anyone else to go through this? I want to have some basic tips in your book that help, or was this more of a cathartic thing?
Actually, it was a little bit of both, but my main reason for writing the book was to help other women, because I didn't want any other women to go through what I went through. And when I went to the bookstore looking for books on divorce, they were all written by lawyers, mediators, therapists, nobody who actually lived through a difficult divorce. So I wanted women to be armed and prepared and be able to take control and know what they need to know in order to prevent a lot of the things that go on during a difficult divorce.
But isn't it the money kind of, that you were saying, be an adult, you're going to parent together, but at the end of the day, when I talk to my divorced friends, it usually ends up about finances that causes the problems. I mean, is that not the case?
For me, in my perspective, it's much more than the finances. I think it's being aware of the emotional and psychological trauma to the children. The decisions are very often much more than just financial that are made, and they get very vindictive. And parents want to hurt the other spouse, and the children become intermediaries, and they want to share secrets, and they want them spying.
Right.
And they want children to make decisions, and they confide information that's adult information that children shouldn't hear. And those are the areas that I really want to guard them against and alert them about, so that they can make decisions that are in the child's best interest, and ultimately it's in the family's best interest.
And did you, Christina, in your friendship, I know you've worked together professionally, have you found that even if you have a bad start or a bad, beginning to a divorce, that the kids can be brought back in and kind of turn it to a healthy situation?
Yeah, I mean, when you're going through a divorce, you have to put the kids first, and you can't. It's very difficult. It's easier to tell people now, don't badmouth the kid, badmouth the other parent, but it happens, But it's very important that you don't do that. That you keep the kids, like Rosalind was saying, out of it. And you have to be very careful, because the psychological damage to children of divorce is very severe. So no matter what you're going through, both of you really have to be on the same page with that and realize kids have to come first.
Which definitely can be challenging, but
Right.
we're going to put information on how everyone can get both of your tips on how to do that, your book name, your website for the book, and we wish you the best of luck. It's great information. I hope you continue to share it.
Thank you.
Well, thank you.
Thank you. And Christina and Rosalind recently held a party, that's right, a party to help people celebrate divorce. And admittedly, there were some that were not so keen on their ex-spouses and some who were actually there with their exes. Here's a look.
Here's a novel idea, celebrating divorce. Recently at Christopher's Nightclub here in Fort Lauderdale, the largest ever and first ever celebrating divorce party was held.
But it's the largest divorce party in the nation. So kick up your heels tonight, let's go, and let's get started.
So I met Rosalind, and she never had a divorce party, so we said, why don't we just have the biggest divorce party ever in South Florida and invite everyone to come and celebrate their new life.
We're from Colorado, and we come down to Florida. Linda says, hey, this is a great place to get divorced. The laws are all about the women. I'll keep the house, keep the kids, everything is good. So that was it. So she divorced me when we came out of Florida.
Oh, it's great. We love being divorced. It's the best way to go.
A lot of fun and games. Bring your friends and bring your sense of humor is the theme of it all, and we're going to do some funny things.
Well, I'm lucky enough to never been married, but engaged 3 times, so I dodged about 3 bullets.
It's time to come out and celebrate our new lives and to party and have fun.
We're both married, and we're trying to hide from your camera.
Anna, what are you doing here?
I'm celebrating being happily divorced.
How long were you married?
The first time or the second?
The first time.
The first time I was married by 8 years. Wonderful.
Wonderful. And the second time?
5 years, not so wonderful.
I think that it's time for a shift in the mindset around divorce, from one of negativity to one of looking forward, like looking through the windshield instead of continuing to look in the rear view mirror of life.
My ex is the worst because she had me trying to pay for a child that's not mine.
And what do you think is going to happen here tonight? Are you looking for anything special?
Well, maybe I win a prize, a book, or maybe I meet somebody for the third divorce. We never know.